Hey guys, it's Shozzy here, and welcome to episode 10 of the Arsenal series. Now, there was one more bit of transfer activity. Obviously, got a little bit of spoilers there. Nothing too serious. Now, there wasn't anything out apart from Saliba going out on loan. We loaned him out to Celtic. I felt like it was a good move, and the reason behind that is we did bring in one more player. We brought in Christian Romero from Juventus for £20 million. I have to say, he looks really good, and I bought him. It says regular starter, but that was the only contract, the only playing time he would accept. But basically, I see him as our bench centre back, and what I mean by that is he's our third choice centre back, ahead of Chambers. Obviously, Chambers primarily for us at the moment plays right back. But this guy, as you can see, can play both roles that we play with for our two centre backs. So he can play ball playing defender on defend, and then he can also play central defender on defend as well. I feel like he's pretty perfect. He's only 22 years old, got 2 caps for the Argentinian national team. Relatively low wage compared to the rest of the squad. Also on a 5-year contract. So I feel like that's a really good bit of business there. By the time his contract expires, he'll be in the peak of his career, or starting the peak. And obviously we'll probably give him a new contract once that starts to roll around. And finally, current ability of 3 stars, potential ability of 4 stars. So he's nearly there with his progression, but obviously he's probably still got about a year or two left of maybe a little bit of development, a little bit of extra, additions to his stats. Now, in regards to the league table, we currently actually find ourselves in a pretty decent position. Things haven't gone wrong yet. But of course, we're versing Tottenham today. And Tottenham, after winning the league last year, they're in first position. And of course, they're looking pretty strong once again. As you can see, we're in 4th on 13 points. We're also tied with Chelsea at the moment, who are in 5th. And obviously, a victory could essentially put us top. We're only 2 points off of first place at the moment. So a win over Tottenham today. We are the home team, even though we've lost both of our previous games against them. I don't know why I'm getting into the lineup. I want to show you the recent fixtures. So, of course, the previous episode was the 1-0 victory over Fulham. And, of course, the disappointing loss to essentially what is a Virgil van Dijk set piece once again. Of course, the 2-1 home loss against Liverpool. Now, since then, we got unbeaten. We managed to kick things off with a 5-1 victory over Birmingham. We got Pepe with a brace, Depay and Holding on the score sheet for us there. The next game was a 4-0 away victory against Southampton. Obviously, they're not looking as strong as they used to be. Sold a lot of players and realistically haven't really changed too much of their team and added any sort of quality. As you can see, Pepe on the score sheet again. We've got Bellerin, Nketiah, and James Rodriguez there as well. This next game was an interesting one against Man City. Ultimately, it finished 1-1. However, as you can see, we had a few bad performers out there, and Lacazette essentially missed about 2 or 3 really good chances to score goals. 6.4, obviously putting Nketiah on after that pretty abysmal display. We then played our first Europa League game of the group stage. Managed to pick up a pretty impressive 2-0 victory against Fiorentina. Pepe and Depay. We essentially played a pretty full-strength team. I think apart from Torreira, and Tierney. So they were the only 2 players that were actually rotated. And obviously that's because they're essentially first-team quality players that are kind of just missing out at the moment. The next game, we return to Premier League action with a 2-0 away victory over Leicester, which I feel like is a decent result because Leicester are quite a good team. As you can see, David Luiz, I think that was a set piece that he opened the scoring with. And then we also had Pepe getting another goal for himself, really kicking on where he left off towards the end of last season as well. And finally, the EFL Cup, the FA Cup, the EFL Cup, 3rd round. we managed to pick up a 2-0 away victory against West Brom. But as you can see, we gave a debut to Romero, and pretty much the rest of the team was our backup players. As you can see, Barkley in there, Guendouzi, Kluivert, Nelson. The only one that didn't play the full 90 was Nketiah, and that was because he played the under-23s game one day prior. Still came off the bench, but as you can see, was pretty fatigued and really didn't do a lot. Anyway, let's get into the lineup for this first game. Of course, we are going to be taking on both Tottenham and then Real Betis in the Europa League away from home. So, bit of a different, well, two very different games, because probably in the Betis game, we'll make a few changes. I think we want to get Romero. I want to try and get him up to match fitness, which is kind of what we tried to do with the EFL Cup game. Anyway, the starting lineup going to be Leno in goals, Bellerin at right back, Holding and David Luiz as our centre backs, Alex Tellez. Actually, both Tellez and Tierney are both absolutely smashing it at the moment. In front of them, we've got Aya, who is also playing really well. He was he might be the best signing of the series so far, in my opinion. Solid as a rock in the gap between the midfield and the centre backs. We then got Rodriguez as our advanced playmaker, Xhaka as our box-to-box, got Depay on the left as our forward, we got Pepe on the right as our winger, and then of course up front we got Lacazette, and then of course on the bench we got Martinez, Chambers, Tierney, Torreira, Barkley, Nelson, and Nketiah. I really, really want to beat Tottenham. I feel like they've definitely had our number so far. And of course, we got battered in one of those games last season. I think it was what, a 4, was it 4-0 or 4-1? Something like that. We can't be having any more of those types of games against our fiercest rivals. And of course, they did actually sign Everton Suarez. And they've also got the opening goal in the first 6 minutes with Harry Kane scoring from inside our penalty box. Inside our 6 yard, sorry. It's not good enough. Come on, boys. We're the home team. For some reason, it just feels like whenever we verse one of the big teams, we start to crumble. And we just don't play like we usually play. Obviously, much better quality of player, but still, you would think at least our team would be able to do something similar to what they've been doing. And we've actually got the equaliser there. That's an instant reply. Memphis Depay, 2 minutes later. Obviously, you know, I'm sure some of you thought that was a bit of a risky signing. And would Depay be able to, you know, make up for the loss of Auba? But so far this season, he's actually been really good. He is a top-level player. He's an elite winger. Elite inside forward. But speaking of Everton, Suarez, he was one of the guys I was looking at as James Rodriguez just hit the crossbar. So unlucky. Yeah, and then Tottenham managed to get him. They got him for relatively cheap as well. I think it was like 24 million, something like that. He's a great player, but I think Depay might be just a little bit better. Obviously, Everton has he has youth on his side. I think he's only 22, as opposed to Depay, who is 26. Anyway, we got Pepe coming forward here. Bit of an odd shot. Pretty far out there as well. Honestly, though, it looks like it's pretty even at the moment. So, you know, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised at the moment. I thought as soon as they scored that first goal, you know, the wheels were about to fall off. And luckily we get the equaliser pretty pretty quickly after that happened. Somehow, I mean, luckily they've hit the post there, which I feel is, I mean, that's also even considering James hit the crossbar as well in that first half. We need a big second half. They look like they might be playing a little bit better than us at the moment. And Tellez with that type of throw-in, just not doing good enough. Come on, Bellerin. Can he get across? He can. Memphis! He's hit the crossbar again. 2 times in this game, we've hit the crossbar. I don't believe it. If we lose this game, I'm going to be cursing the FM gods. Well, at least the crossbar gods, I guess. So unlucky. Anyway, there's Aya pinging balls left and right. Good cross, but Pepe heads it over. Yeah, I mean, Alex Tellez really not playing too well. It was a semi-decent cross from him, but I'm assuming he's kind of being ripped to shreds by Everton, who I'm assuming is playing on this right-hand side. Be nice to see. Anyway, we've got Depay coming forward. Not a great cross, although we do get the ball back with holding. Pepe cuts inside. Nice little cross. Yes, Memphis Depay. Second goal of the game. And yeah, I mean, credit to Pepe. That was a nice cross. Pretty much teed it up for him. And there we go. We're up into first position at the moment. I think we're just going to leave things. Actually, let's make a sub. Let's get Tierney on. We really don't need Tellez doing anything silly at the moment. But apart from that, I think we're good. All right, we've got Tierney now with a long throw-in. Much better. Well, a little bit better than Tellez. You got Memphis, who is he's sitting on a hat-trick. Anyway, Tierney to the back post. Clears everybody, but Pepe will get to it. Who puts another cross in, and we somehow put the ball in the back of the net. 3-1 to Arsenal. Lacazette, the goal scorer. But it essentially was blocked twice before it fell straight to his feet. Alright, so far so good. I don't think I want to make any more changes. We need to hopefully solidify this lead. This is perfect. Although Tottenham are on a counter-attack through Kane. Oh, that's a good save by Leno. Very good save. Tottenham have got the corner though. Winks will put it in the box. And of course, I mean, we are Arsenal. We are susceptible to the set piece. And yeah, Memphis Depay, I mean, the game changer when it comes to North London derbies. He could be. Harry Kane with a header over the bar. And I'm just going to tell him to concentrate. Let's tell him to concentrate. James with a decent little free kick there. Nothing too... Okay, that's perfect. Everybody is overwhelmed with my shout. Hopefully they just concentrate anyway. Alright, we've got Pepe. Acres of space. Cuts right in the box. Oh, it's taken a deflection. That could have been our 4th goal. Alright, Pepe with a corner. We're about to enter stoppage time. Aya gets a header, but straight at Lloris in goal. And he does an early release to... I mean, the counter-attack is on. Bergwijn. Another good save by Leno. I thought they might have got a goal back there. That was looking pretty scary. You know, the pace at which they were counter-attacking. Oh, Memphis. Absolutely smashing it. Definitely man of the match. And there we go. We've beaten Tottenham. It finally happened. It only took us a whole season to lose twice to them, get absolutely destroyed by them in one game as well. And there we go. Depay sends Arsenal top. I mean, that 37 million, looking pretty good at the moment. It's looking pretty good at the moment. Give him a bit of praise. I mean, 2 goals against your fiercest rivals it's definitely a decent little return from him. Anyway, what I'll do now is skip forward the 5 days and join you for the lineup against Real Betis. Alright, so let's get into the lineup. Of course, Betis are currently sitting in first. They did win their game over Gorica, who are some random Croatian team that I've actually never heard of, which is interesting. So that'll be quite a not a difficult game, but it might be difficult for the level of player that we're probably going to play in that one. We made a couple of changes. We brought in Romero as our central defender. We also brought in Chambers as our inverted wingback. Unfortunately, I picked up a bit of an injury after the last game. So Torreira's coming in as the defensive midfielder. We've also decided to give Willock and Nketiah, as well as Nelson, a chance. So Willock will be the advanced playmaker, Nelson will be the winger, and then Nketiah is going to start up front. And of course, we also bring Tierney back in after being much more impressive than Alex Telles in the last game. So it'll be pretty interesting. The bench is going to be Martinez, Holding, Telles, Guendouzi, Barkley, Pepe, and Lacazette. So essentially, if we need to, the firepower is going to be there. So if for some reason we start to lose, I'll bring on 3 of our big boys, probably Pepe, Laka, and maybe Barkley, depending on who's sort of not performing. But yeah, we should be fine. And of course, we've got Guendouzi on there as well, if we are already leading by about 2 goals or something like that. We can bring him on, maybe rest Xhaka a little bit for the next game as well. Anyway, I feel like this is a pretty interesting game. I mean, it's in the Europa League. I don't really want to showcase too many Europa League games. Obviously, once we get back in the Champions League, we'll be doing a few of those for our episodes. I feel like it's nice. You know, Betis is a team where realistically probably never going to be versing again. We might, but, you know, it's going to be a pretty random day for us to be versing them on an episode again. And Xhaka has banged one from outside the box. Well, it was right on the edge of the box. And we've now taken a 1-0 lead. He's also on an 8-match rating, so I guess that goes to show how good that strike actually was. Fair play to him. Alright, looks like we've got another highlight here. We've got Memphis Depay coming forward. Still so impressed with how he's playing at the moment, of course. The last game as well, and he's just won a penalty. I'm assuming that's a penalty. Yeah, there we go. I think it's going to be David Luiz to take it. Yeah. He's actually not a bad penalty taker, Luiz. Usually I'm quite nervous when the centre-back is going to take a penalty. But as we all know, not much of a centre-back in real life, especially. Much more of a... Well, he thinks he's a midfielder, so... Yeah. On the game, he's really good, though. At centre-back, of course. And we're actually going to be missing him once he... well, either he retires or his stats start to decrease at a rapid rate. Hence the Romero signing. Anyway, so far so good. We're 2-0 up, and I kind of was expecting a bit more of a difficult game. So, in a weird way, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not too happy with Reece Nelson out there, though. What I will do now is take Guendouzi on and take Xhaka off. And I think we'll bring Barkley on as well. Just not 100% sure where we want to bring him on for, or who we want to play him for. I guess we could do a bit of rotating around our midfield, because I would much prefer Barkley to be our advanced playmaker as opposed to box to box. I think what we can do is maybe take Torreira off, put Guendouzi at deep line playmaker, and then Joe Willock can be our box to box, as he's got a bit more about him defensively compared to Ross Barkley. I think we'll make that change at about the 70th minute. We're coming forward again. Memphis Depay. I mean, the guy's too good. At the moment, he is tearing other teams to shreds. I mean, he single-handedly pretty much beat Tottenham, so definitely one of my better signings. So yeah, Torreira's going to come off, Guendouzi, and then we'll swap Willock over to the box-to-box midfielder role. And I mean, we've got one more sub left. Happy to see Nelson back up to a 6.9. I was a little bit worried about him. Alright, Betis, I mean, that's a pretty pathetic cross by them. Fiorentina are beating Gorica 6-0. So I could, well, we've just conceded a goal there through Loren of Betis, but I'm kind of looking ahead to the Gorica games, because I feel like we could maybe give Steve Wilson. We've just conceded a second goal. It's going to be offside from Juanmi, but that makes me a little bit nervous. That would have been 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's going to demand more. And there we go, full time. All right, 3-1 victory. We'll take that. Maybe it was a little bit more even than I thought it was towards the end. But yeah, what I'll do now is I'll show you the regens that I want to play, because there is actually 2 of them. And yeah, Xhaka still not too happy with me. He was really upset that I sold Orba. Pretty much the only player that actually was upset about it. Anyway, so let's go to the under 18s. And we've got Simunovic, who is an Australian regen, which is really cool to see. He was actually improving quite a lot. Looks like most of his stats are starting to go back down a little bit now, which is unfortunate. Doesn't really have too much potential about him. But he might get some game time. We might put him on the bench, perhaps. And of course, the other player is Steve Wilson, who was our standout. Possibly a 5-star player. Possibly. So, yeah, I mean, he looks really good. As you can see, he's improving quite a lot as well. Perfect sort of winger that we do actually play with. So maybe we give him a couple of games in the Europa League and see what he can do. Obviously, we don't want to embed him into the team too early, or he might never, sort of reach his proper potential. So we've got to be wary about that and just a little bit careful. But as you can see, the Gorica game is our next Europa League fixture. So looking forward to that. In regards as to when we will come back for the next episode, I kind of like... Let's have a look. If I'm being honest, I like the Wolves Fiorentina fixtures there. They look pretty good. And then I assume after that, we would probably come back for maybe Crystal Palace just before the transfer window opens. And then I assume the next episode after that would be Fulham Chelsea. So they're kind of the fixtures we're looking forward to at the moment. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure you smash the like button if you are. And of course, also subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on. Would much appreciate that. Worth mentioning that you guys are supporting the channel quite a bit at the moment. And the percentage of my subscribers with the bell turned on has been going up recently. So I really, really do appreciate that. Apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.